Hi everyone, I have had quite a few requests to do this page here from Johanna Basford, Small Victories, so I thought it would be a good one to do. They are quite small designs, but I think we can, because they're small, we can spend a bit of time on each one and yeah, have some fun with them. So we're going to come in really closely. That's as close as I can come in. Sorry about the spare paper behind the page, but I like to do that. This is a swatch chart that I designed, which went a bit wrong. So using it as scrap paper. Actually didn't go wrong. It was sort of my initial attempt. I'm trying to put something down on the page to stop it tipping up, but I don't think it's going to work. So I'm just going to try and press it down and hope for the best. So I'm going to use my Polychromos. I thought they'd be the best choice, seeing as we need something that we can get into doing all these fine details. Now this first mushroom, having a little look, I feel like I want to do some nice earthy orangey tones for this one. I'm just looking for a dark colour to get started with. Yeah, let's start with this. So I'm going to start with my burnt sienna. It's quite small, but I'm sure it'll be okay. So I'm thinking just in the corner here, just pop a little bit here, and then just fade it out. I've been using, excuse me sniffing, Prismacolors quite a lot lately. I have to remember that it's quite a different technique to a Prismacolor. You can get away with leaving it a bit messy and smushing it all together at the end, but can't get away with that with these. Where should we go next? I think maybe a burnt ochre might work. This one's a little bit blunt, but I think I can get away with it. No, I can't. Look at all those dots. Hold on, page is going to flip. There we go. I'm afraid that's going to be a bit of a thing for this page. Sorry, I'm going to blow my nose. Sorry, now I keep sniffing. Now with a picture so small, you might feel you don't want to do too many little shading details, that sort of thing, and that is absolutely fine. It's obviously up to you, but I feel that with a picture so small we have the opportunity to spend a little bit of time applying a few techniques without it taking too long. I'm trying to colour around those dots because I haven't thought about what I'm doing with them yet. So I'm really going over the burnt sienna and just colouring more, really. And then I've got to think about what colour to do next. I think I know. So I want to fade this off a bit. Try and take it around these dots. I'm going to just fade this down here. It's a little bit dark. There we go. Now I may add more colour after, thinking it's not quite right, but we'll see. I'm going to use the green gold next. I think this might work. We'll see. I'm sort of thinking, can I get it to look a little bit bronzy? I think it, you know, I was saying about earthy. This needs sharpening. I don't know why my nose wants to be runny. I haven't got a cold or anything. It's just playing up for the camera, trying to get attention. There we go. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy colouring mushrooms and toadstools. I think it's such fun. Sorry, I need to take that across. And Johanna draws them so beautifully. Helps. I think making them into houses and things like that, which is what she's done here. Some of them are plain, but they've got, a lot of them got a little theme attached to them. I think it makes it fun. I like them. Oh, excuse me, I just had some chocolates, give me a hiccup. The one on the snail's back is a lot of fun. I'm trying to keep this quite light in the middle, I can't decide whether I'm going to put another colour in here or not. Like with Prismas I would probably have to, because it probably would show too much paper through. You know, they're good for... It's odd because I've always thought of Polychromos needing layering, but to blend a Polychromo you have to layer it up. But with Prismas, to blend them you just smush them around, but if you want to not see paper through, you do have to... I'm going to go over the circles because it's looking too messy. There we go. Here is where it needs some work. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. This gives us a nice bronzy look. What I'm going to do with the dots is use a dark colour so that we can sort of cover over what's underneath. So I'm going to use the burnt umber. Yeah, with the Prismas I find that it's quite nice to do a few different colours and then layer over it all in something light, or you can use a blender to just smush it all up at the end, and it works quite nicely. Whereas with polys you can't smush it, so you have to carefully put your layers out there. I am just going to grab back the burnt ochre, and go over that a bit. Where those circles are, I wasn't very neat. Put a bit here as well. Just there we go. Okay, now we had this sort of gild bit. Now, if I think about a mushroom, the ones that I bought this morning, for example, in this grocery shop, in the supermarket, that's grey, but we have sort of brown, so I'm thinking we might be able to use the same colour that we used here. So I'm going to grab my burnt umber and do it this colour, but not really hard, just a light layer to start with, and then thinking about it. Now this is an underneath part, so how would it look shadow wise? I'm thinking I'd quite like a dark bit here to sort of provide a boundary so we can see that it isn't sort of just joined to that top layer, and then I can fade that a bit so it's a bit lighter near the edge. I think that works. And then we have the stem. Now I normally like to do the stem in a grey. I'm going to try that and see how it works out. I might use, whoops, quite a dark colour though. This is the warm grey 6, it's quite a dark grey. I'm going to use it lightly though. I'm just going to colour the whole thing and then decide where to put my darker colour. It's a cute little cosy house, isn't it? Do you imagine, so inside that stem there must be some stairs to get from there to there. You know, that window must be up on the first floor. I'm going to put some darker bits here now. Johanna seems to give us like a curvy shadow. And then I think there'd be a little bit under this window, like that. I'm tempted to spew a little bit at the bottom. And then a bit each side, because this stem is going to be rounded, isn't it? So if we make it a little dark on those edges, it will sort of bring it in, make it look more rounded. Sorry, I'm quiet and concentrating. I was just, I'm going to use this colour for the chimney as well. I just popped next door to grab something, to put something away. Anyway, into the sitting room. My son is streaming and his brother is playing games and my husband is asleep. I'm going to use the burnt ochre for the chimney, top of the chimney. I think it would just work quite nicely. There we go. Now I'm going to grab my dark sepia and I'm going to make the chimney a little darker on each edge, so it looks a bit more rounded, a bit of a shadow under here. The shadow wouldn't fall that way. I suppose if the light was coming from there it might. And then also a little bit of shadow under these little circles in the hope that they look like they're sort of standing out of our mushroom, not just flat on the surface. I was actually at a arts and crafts market this morning as part of our farmers market, and just going to put a bit here and here. Someone was selling their art and she'd done quite a lot of her art was just uncoloured, but she had an apple that she'd coloured. I'm going to do that window frame in the burnt sienna, and she'd put water droplets on the apple. Now this is done in watercolour, and I said to her about it. I said, oh, it's so difficult to do them, isn't it? I said, you know, I use pencils and I find water droplets hard. I was just reminded by these because you could do them as water droplets. And she said, it was the first time I tried them, she said. So, wow. The thing I did notice though, I'm going to use this to put a bit of shadow on the window frames. I'm going to put a little bit on the inside. This is very fiddly and probably completely unnecessary. I thought, wow, first time you tried. She said there's actually a droplet missing in the picture, she said, because she used a photograph and there was one dripping right off the bottom of the apple, but she said it just didn't look right. And I sort of said to her, it is funny, isn't it, when you're copying something from nature, which obviously we're not doing here, but yeah, that sometimes something that is there just looks very odd and doesn't look like it should be there, it doesn't look quite right, so it's better to leave it out. Now I have grabbed my cadmium yellow and I'm going to do the windows. The light coming through the window, nice and bright. I always feel so guilty talking to someone and not buying anything, but her pictures were lovely, but I don't buy art really. If she'd had some greetings cards or something, I would have bought one, but she didn't. Now we've basically got three elements left. We've got our front door and doorknob, we've got our grass and our flowers. I am thinking I want to keep the colour scheme related, matching. I might not do that on all of them, but I'm going to treat each one as its own separate picture. So I'm not going to try and sort of do anything that links them together or anything like that. So I'd like this to be this particular bit to be linked. So I'm thinking I want to use orange maybe for the flowers, and then maybe a orangey red for the door, so it matches the roof of the top, you know what I mean, of our toadstool. So I'm going to firstly grab the terracotta. It's quite an orangey colour, but it is more muted, which I think is what is really needed here. So I just sharpened it. So here it is. I'm going to put it on the door and we'll see how it looks. Might need a little bit of something, but I don't want it to, you know, if I did it bright red or bright orange, it would just stand out as being brighter than the rest. And that isn't what I want. I want it to just sit within the picture, you know, just look right. So that's our door. I think the door handle, I'm going to do we have a brown somewhere? Yes, a burnt umber. There we go. Now the excuse me, the flowers. Now I'm thinking maybe a Venetian red might work. It might not. I'm going to try it. I've got an idea of what I can do if it doesn't quite pay off, so it's okay. So here it is, the Venetian red. As I say, it's a little bit muted, but I do feel like these look like they could be red flowers and they'd be quite pretty. There we go. I've really just blocked it in because it's such a small space. But I'm going to put a little bit of darker colour on the bottom. I'm going to use the burnt sienna. It's getting a bit small, isn't it, this burnt sienna? Just put a little bit. I feel like it would just be a little bit darker at the bottom. I don't know why. There we go. Now we have got 3 dots coming off the top of each one. There's really not a lot I can do about that. I can't go over them, they're too teeny. But we have our grass now. I don't want to go bright green. You know, certainly don't want to do a light green, a May green, even an earth green. They're all too bright. We do, although the earth green is a bit grayer, it might tone in with the toadstool. I think I'll try the earth green actually. It's not a grass green, but it might just work. I'll give it a try. Because it's more muted, like all of our other colours. There we go. And I'm going to grab another colour in a minute, so I've filled this all in. I'm going to use the chrome oxide green. Really, really sharp. Yeah, I think that'll do. Chrome oxide green. I'm going to put in some lines, some strands of grass. There we go. Yeah, I'm just looking to see whether I want to put any white on it, and I do. I'm going to grab my Jelly Roll 5. One of these has nearly run out. I put them both together in the same pencil case on my desk, which was the silliest thing to do. Not sure. We'll try it and see. Now to put a little dot on each of these, a little dots, so they look a little bit more three-dimensional. Isn't it funny how they look more three-dimensional with that little dot, because they're catching the light. I'm going to put some little dots on our flowers just around the edge. Oops, there we go. And one on our door handle. You could do some shine around the edges here, but I think it'll take from those. I think I'm quite happy with it, with just those shining. So there it is. I think that is done. Oh, I enjoyed that. Let's hope all the rest are as much fun as that one. Yes, thank you for watching. Hoping that you have a really super day and happy colouring.